You know how some conversations just work? You feel heard, understood, and connected, and others turn into frustration, silence, or defensiveness, no matter how good your intentions were? That difference comes down to one thing: conscious communication. And we've created an entire course teaching you how to use it. The course is even free while we launch our new platform, Alchemy. But I'm getting ahead of myself. In a moment, I'm going to outline the entire system of communication for you. A system that can transform all the relationships of your life into deeper and more meaningful connections. And this includes your relationship with yourself, with a life partner, or even coworkers, friends, and family. The sad reality is that most of us were never taught how to communicate in a way that truly connects. We know how to talk, but not always how to listen. We know how to argue, but not how to stay open when we feel hurt or misunderstood. We know how to demand empathy, but we rarely know how to truly give it. Conscious communication is the system that changes all that. It's a simple, practical framework for how to speak and listen in a way that builds trust, safety, and real connection, whether with your partner, your family, or coworkers, and it provides you with deep self-awareness. It's not a system of manipulation or of getting people to like you. The goal is authenticity and trust, not victory or coercion. So let's get into the details. In a moment, I'm going to outline the foundation of this system. Note that for each step in the process, we've created an entire video to help you learn the skill. It would be impossible to fit it all into this overview, so I encourage you to check out the course now during our launch period while it's free. And if you want to make this a more personal process, think of one recent conflict where you could try one of these steps today. First, listen to understand, not respond. When you slow down and truly hear someone, their body relaxes and their defenses lower. You're not just listening to words, you're tuning into emotion, tone, and meaning, and you're reflecting it back to the other person. This is called active listening, and we outline the entire framework and process for you in the course. Next, speak from I, not you. This shifts the energy from accusation to authenticity. Instead of saying things like, "You never help me," you learn to say, "I feel overwhelmed and could use your support." It keeps the dialogue open and non-threatening. Next, name real emotions, not thoughts or accusations. Feelings like sadness, fear, joy, or disappointment create emotional bridges that invite empathy and openness. But when we say things like, "I feel like you don't care," we're not naming a feeling. We're expressing a thought or judgment about somebody else's behavior. That subtle difference changes everything. Emotions invite connection, while judgments spark defensiveness. For example, saying, "I feel lonely" when we don't spend time together helps your partner understand your need, whereas "I feel like you don't care" makes them want to defend themselves. When you choose emotional honesty, you build understanding and trust instead of tension. Next, be clear and specific. Replace vague statements like "I'm hurt" with clarity. For example, instead of saying "I'm hurt," say, "I felt disappointed and sad when you canceled our plans." Specific language transforms ambiguity into understanding because it helps the other person know exactly what action or moment affected you. It turns confusion into collaboration by focusing on the concrete experience rather than vague emotions. Next, you'll learn to check your assumptions. Every one of us filters the world through stories we tell ourselves. When something feels off, instead of assuming intention, get curious. Ask questions like, "Can you tell me what was happening for you when?" Or, "I noticed I felt distant when that happened. Was that your intention? Were you trying to push me away?" Most conflicts aren't about what was said. They're about what we think it meant. Clarifying those assumptions saves relationships from unnecessary tension. Another point you'll learn in this series of videos is to speak through the other person's love language. Before a tough conversation, offer connection in a way your partner receives love best. If their love language is touch, hold their hand. If it's words, start with appreciation. For example, "I really value how much you care about this relationship." Now, for someone who values acts of service, sitting down to talk while helping with something small can make all the difference to them. When you meet them in their language, their nervous system relaxes, their heart opens, and communication becomes easier. It becomes more compassionate, and it becomes far more effective. When you start using this framework and communicating this way, something shifts almost immediately. For example, a couple who kept having the same argument might suddenly find themselves laughing and apologizing instead of shutting down, just because one person paused, took a breath, and used an I statement instead of blame. These small shifts can create instant relief and real connection. When you use conscious communication techniques, you'll notice something powerful. People start relaxing around you. Conversations become easier. They become more honest and more productive. Now take a deep breath and repeat after me. I don't need to win this conversation. I just need to understand. Because conversations aren't competitions. They're bridges between hearts. When you stop aiming to win, you start aiming to connect. Every discussion becomes less about being right and more about building understanding and connecting in truth and vulnerability. True communication isn't about proving your point. It's about creating a space where two people can meet halfway and feel safe enough to be honest. And here's the beauty of it. This is a learnable skill. If you want to go deeper, if you want to actually master the how of this, you'll find the full Conscious Communication series inside the Alchemy app. You'll learn exactly how to apply these tools step by step with guided practices and real-world examples. And the best part, the course is 100% free while we launch. And while you're on the app, you can choose to focus on the coursework, and you can also choose to connect with others who care about healthy, conscious relationships. Alchemy even includes a free dating and friendship matching component based on the science of compatibility in relationships. Also, there are no paywalls, and there are no gamifications and no tricks. So you can practice these skills with real people who are also doing the work. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start truly connecting, download the Alchemy app and watch the full series today. Try using one of these techniques in your next conversation and notice the difference. Because better communication doesn't just only change your conversations, it completely changes your life, opens your heart, and makes connections last a lifetime.